Hello and welcome to CX Today. My name is Charlie and today I'm joined by Alex Black, Chief Technology Officer at Enghouse Interactive. Alex, how are you doing today?
Hi, Charlie. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, everything's well. How are you?
Yes, very good, thanks. I'm very excited today for our discussion for the CX Summit, where we're going to be finding a little bit more out about Enghouse and kind of your outlook
Yeah.
of the future of CX. So I think first things first, could you give us a bit of an introduction to Enghouse and kind of a little bio maybe?
Yeah. So I'm Alex. I'm the CTO of Enghouse Interactive, which means I'm kind of responsible for the product side of the business. In terms of the business itself, we are very much focused on. I think we describe it as trying to help our customers maximize the value they get from their customer interactions, and we like to do that by giving them the most reliable solutions for customer interaction, and also to offer them choice in the platform that best suits them, and choice in how they want to deploy it. There's a lot of people say I want it in the cloud. There's a lot of people still say I want it on premise. So our strategy is very much to offer choice of how we deploy that and which particular platform is best suited to them, because they're not all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you alluded to there, obviously, the kind of the broad spectrum that is Enghouse's portfolio
Yes.
that covers contact center and kind of more of the CX stack as well. Which of those kind of solutions have your customers been finding most value in over the past 12 months?
I think there's some very interesting things have been going on over the last year, and that have come out of the pandemic, and we're seeing people no longer want to just have their choice of or their preferred choice of interaction mechanism or interaction media. It used to be people said, I always communicate using this, I always communicate using that. I think what we're now seeing is that people are changing their interaction media depending on the situation they're in. And that's a very interesting thing, because before the pandemic it was very stovepiped. You were in a particular category. Now you actually vary the category based on the situation that the end customer finds themselves in. And that means that our customers, our products and our customers need to be able to support that flexing and that changing of choice. So we and that's really some of the things we've been seeing developing over the last year. And we provide tools that allow the agents and the supervisors in contact centers that use our technology to understand what has happened regardless of choice with a particular customer. And I think that's something that definitely has changed over the last year.
Yeah, I think that trend is a particularly interesting one. Obviously, I think because of the pandemic as well, maybe that trend has shifted a lot quicker than it otherwise would have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's interesting to kind of dig deeper into those channels now a little bit too, and kind of think about kind of maybe some potentially other solutions that kind of feed into kind of a broader digital strategy, and which kind of those have you seen really come to the fore recently?
We've seen a number of things. The obvious big thing that has happened in the market in terms of where people are moving this year is without doubt Microsoft Teams. Microsoft have profited hugely from Teams during the pandemic, when people had to. I think there was a move anyway. There was a general move a couple of years ago, but when the pandemic, arrived, people had to make a wholesale change very quickly. We had one customer in Ireland, really interesting company, who had to move their company over a weekend from an old-fashioned PBX onto Teams, and that included their contact center because the customers needed to speak to them. So, in real terms, that was literally a project that was done in just over a week and a half. Now, pre-pandemic, that would have been unprecedented, yeah. But that happened quite a bit during during that. So we saw a lot of people move to Teams, and as a result of that, people wanted to integrate with Teams as well as possible. Yeah, so that's one thing we've definitely seen happening. Another thing is hybrid and home working. That hasn't stopped. Everybody went home. Some people could work from home, some people couldn't. So we had to put the technology in to help our customers do that. But now we're definitely seeing the need for a hybrid working staying. And I think that's going to be forever. Some companies will want to do less of that, some companies more of that, depending on their business and their culture. But definitely that's another area where we've seen a lot of people putting energy, spending money into making sure they can support that in the long term, not just in the short term, but in the long term as well.
Yeah, I think that's two very interesting points. I think they fit hand in hand very well as well. I mean, the move to hybrid teams, kind of coinciding with this kind of hybrid work strategy and how the two platforms can complement each other is particularly interesting. I don't know in that regard, or either kind of the digital choice, the kind of evolving of that. Are kind of these trends fitting into kind of what you will be doing in the next 12 months? Is there anything special kind of that revolves around them, or anything else maybe?
Yeah, and we've always been had a very close integration with Microsoft technology, and we were very lucky that having invested in that for many years, and subsequently with Teams, we did very well in that Teams migration. So that was good news. But we're also going to be, and I've just launched our own UC platform. And it's more a UC platform designed to be integrated into contact centers. It's not a generic, it can be used as a generic platform, but it was more designed to be used as a platform to be integrated with the contact centers, particularly for customers who wanted that one-stop shop. They wanted a cloud contact center, be it private cloud or public cloud. We don't care. We like to give the customer the choice. But they wanted that UC platform integrated with that. So that's something that we've launched recently. Another thing that we've been doing during the home working, hybrid working era was to try and help supervisors manage their contact centers differently. Suddenly they find themselves in a very different position from they were a couple of years ago. So we responded to that to help give them the tools to manage that differently. So, for example, we have some very strong AI-based technology to understand conversations, and it's a bit different from the general purpose stuff you find. It's very tailored around understanding a conversation, and we've extended that. So, for example, we have a thing called Smart Quality, which is a product we launched not too long ago, which is aimed to help the supervisor spot trends in conversations. So be it digital conversations or be it voice conversations, we can help them analyze that in a very, very subjective way that allows them not to have to read it themselves. We just give them the output and they can deal with the consequences. So the idea being to give the supervisor more time to spend adding value rather than researching and understanding what's been going on in the contact center. We'll try and do that for them and then allow them to use our output and manage that in a more direct way. So that's one thing, because in the pandemic, and now with home working, people have to manage it differently. So we're trying to help them respond to that. And last but not least, you'll see us, and it's a lot of what we've been doing forever almost, but we're going through a new evolution of that, which is to focus on both user, agent, and supervisor experience. So we're putting some energy into that, and you'll see that come out over the next 6-12 months, where we're just trying to make it better for people, particularly in that hybrid environment. It doesn't matter if you're all based in one place, it's equally relevant. But if you are in that hybrid environment, sometimes things need to be a little bit different. Sometimes it's just psychological, whatever. But so there's the areas that we're really focused on right now.
I think there was lots of really interesting things. I think starting off with the launch of your own sort of internal communications platform. I
Yeah,
think that's very exciting. But also, I really love the idea of the smart kind of quality solution that you've brought out. I
yeah,
mean, not that long ago was kind of analytics quite a broad tool, and it would be very onerous on the user. But now these kind of specific use cases through applications that are being brought in to support contact centers through ease of use. I mean, the example that you gave is a particularly great one, I thought. And then obviously that onus on the kind of supervisor and agent experience as well, I think is very interesting and links back to your point from the previous question. So I think lots of really, really enthusiastic stuff there, and it paints quite a picture
yeah.
for the future. If viewers want to go and find out more about kind of your future vision, where can they perhaps go?
You can go to edgehouseinteractive.com, and they will, and the website will give you a lot of information on what we're doing. But also, we're a very one thing I'm very proud of is a company we're very approachable. So you can always feel free to contact us at any time. Using whatever media you choose, be it through the website or directly. We're always happy to interact with our customers.
Yeah, excellent. And you can go and see the Enghouse team at the CX Summit as well. I think yeah, all of those options are particularly great. But I've learned a lot on this call, and this particularly exciting future for Enghouse, and I think the entire CX industry as well. So I think that's a great place to end today's chat. But thank you very much for joining me today, Alex.
No problem, Charlie, and I wish you well, and I hope everything goes well.
Yes, and for you too, I'm sure it will. But thanks everybody for watching, and bye for now.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.